Update, not even 3 weeks later, they're moving in together. We had a great relationship. The steady, supportive, stable, consistent kind. We met online. I wasn't overly attracted to him, but he was friends with a friend's brother, so I figured he must be a good guy. It was a slow build to our relationship, but we moved in together after 9 months. He worked long hours. I took care of all things house and home, including watching his dog. It worked. We had fun. We fought and made up. We made plans for our future. When people ask why I like him, I would say that he's just a really great guy. And I believed it for 2.5 years. The end of our relationship came abruptly. I got a message from an acquaintance from high school at 4 p.m. on a Wednesday. She works at a local hotel. She recognized Spencer from my social media. She tells me he's been frequenting the hotel with another woman. They often stay only a few hours. I ask for the dates at least 5 times in the month of August. Mostly from 7 to 11 p.m. Once a whole night stay while I was out of town. I look at my text messages from him to see what lies he told me on those dates. They're extensive. The most intricate included him helping a friend in a nearby town to load pigs on a truck. I found it odd that I'd never heard of this friend, and I couldn't understand why this guy didn't have other farmer friends. But Spencer's a butcher, so it tracked that it could be in the realm of possibilities. He got home after his hotel tryst that night, just after midnight. He came upstairs to our bed where I was sleeping and laid on top of me, holding me close. I asked him about his night, and he recounted the tale of herding pigs onto the truck. He was so snuggly that night. In hindsight, he was extra affectionate on all the nights he returned home after fucking Lorena in hotels. I didn't have a lot of time to process the information. It's 4 p.m. and Spencer had been without a car for a couple of months, so I'd been driving him to and from work every day. It was time to pick him up. He got in the car and kissed me hello as always. As I started to drive, there were hot air balloons in the sky. I had just purchased non-refundable hot air balloon ride tickets for us 2 weeks earlier. I pointed them out excitedly and told him how that was his surprise birthday gift and we were scheduled to go in a few days. He was so excited. He rubbed my neck, told me I was the best. He hasn't even asked why I turned the opposite direction from where we normally go home. I ask if he's felt disconnected lately. He says he's just busy with work, and with back to school, I'm a teacher, we're out of our routine. We'll plan a day to reconnect. He tells me about his day and his daily work drama. I listen attentively. He still doesn't ask or notice we're not heading home. I pull onto the street where the hotel is. Now he seems to be noticing. Asks what we're doing. I turn into the hotel parking lot and park. He's freaking out. What are we doing here? What's going on? I calmly turn to him, take a deep breath, and say, "Welcome to the worst day of my life." I know. I just need to hear you say it. I don't know where my calmness is coming from. I certainly don't feel that way. He won't look at me. He's silent for 10 minutes. I finally say, "I was really hoping you were going to say you had a surprise for me, and I just ruined it all." "I wish I could say that too," he finally says. "How long?" I ask. He holds up one finger without looking at me. 1 month," I say. One time he snaps, finally looking at me. More lies. I have proof of at least 5 hotel stays over the last month. He can't tell me why, but says he's not sure he ever loved me. He thinks he wanted to be happy, but wasn't. This hurts. But why not end it? Why pursue an affair? Is it even true? He just held my face in his hands, looking deep into my eyes, telling me that he loves me and nothing will ever change that. A few days ago, while we were planning a budget for our future, we were going to go look at rings. He asks me to drive him to his parents. I do. In hindsight, my badass confrontation would have been better if I'd kicked him out of the car. I whip home and my parents come meet me, pack his belongings into green garbage bags. They're shocked. We're all crying. He picks up his stuff that night, turns away, and doesn't look back. He owes me $25,000. He borrowed the money in October 2021 in order to pay back his employer, who made fake T4S in order for him to qualify for a mortgage. The deal was that Spencer pay the taxes that the business would have to pay to the CRA on the fake income. When he quit that job with that employer, the employer demanded the money. We were in love. I trusted him completely. I wrote him a check on my line of credit. Perhaps his willingness to commit mortgage fraud should have been my first red flag. He hasn't been able to pay anything since I lent it to him, except the interest. He was living rent-free in my home so he could save for a car and save for our future. He chose to spend his savings on hotel rooms and whining and dining with another woman all over town. Why wouldn't Lorena demand more? Why wouldn't she demand he break up with me before pursuing anything? Why hotels? Why wouldn't they go to her house? Turns out, she lives with her parents. They're in love. They're soulmates. They have a lot in common. They're both trained chefs and they work together closely at the same company. I do hope my pain was worth it. I hope they are soulmates, because that is the only thing that makes sense to me as to how or why you could do that to someone. I am a sucker for a good love story, and I'm sure they will rewrite the beginning of theirs. I hope he and Lorena are happy. I hope I get my $25,000. I hope my pain subsides soon, but the story is still unfolding. Now let's look at the comments. 2 things to do. Contact an attorney. I don't know where you live, but if you live in the US, file a lawsuit in federal court because of the amount of money he owes. Secondly, report him to the authorities for mortgage fraud and banking fraud. He deserves everything coming his way for what he has done to you. He has agreed in writing to pay the $25,000 on September 30th. If he doesn't, I'll have a strong case in small claims court here in Canada. I don't know that the CRA, Canada Revenue Agency, will care as the taxes were paid on the fake income. I thought of reporting the fake T4S to the mortgage company, but I'm not sure they would care as he's made 1 year of payments so far successfully. He rents the house out. For reference, his fake income for 2 years was made out to be $117,000 per year. He actually makes $70,000. So there was some serious fraud going on. So while I agree and obviously want him to suffer, I'm not sure he ever will. I think he found his person and is happy ever after. Take solace in the fact that they will eventually cheat on each other. After all, if he'll cheat on a good thing with you, he'll cheat on her just as quickly. And if she'll sleep with someone that she knows is in a relationship, she'll sleep with anyone. Please look up Coach Craig on YouTube and watch every single one of his No Contact videos. The titles are annoying because they say how to get your ex back and shit, but it really is not why I watch them. I do it to keep me strong, and he explains it extremely well that the absolute best way to get back at him is to not give him any access or insight to your life. And only then will he have the time and space to wonder and self-reflect and regret his decisions. It may take weeks or months, but a person is not built to be able to lose attachments that easily. And if he can, then he really never did give a shit. Watch the videos and do NC. Not to get him back, but for your own sake. And to watch him squirm and feel so much better once he tries to slither his way back in. I hope you are okay, and I am so fucking sorry. Salt to the wound is an understatement. He went no contact immediately. I have emailed a few times outlining the money that he owes me. His replies are short and to the point. I really think he's moved on already. I've already blocked him and her on social media. I can't wait to block his email and phone number, just need my money.